Yes. Back again. Coffee Break with JN is back again. What a little New Jack swang. Your boy JN going off. Not too hard, pause. Not too soft for hello. And welcome back, you guys, to Tabernacle. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Ugh. I got stuff all over the place. It is what it is. It's my studio, you guys. As it once said, there's no future in your fronting. This is just what's going on. I got a chair full of drawings. Well, hello, Notorious JRD. JRD says, I have a Ringo proxy to offer for Matt. Well, hello. Well, hello to Matt or Ringo, wherever you are. Thanks, JRD. Welcome back to Coffee Break with JN, where all your ashy dreams come true. You guys, I don't know how we do it. I don't know how you see my face on the internet like several times a week. Always looking good, I must say. I'm just saying. I'm easy to look at. We know what it is. Let's call it is what it is. It's okay. We can be sure of certain things in life. Death, taxes, and my smiling angelic countenance, matinee idol good looks, and lantern jaw. Yes, you know who it is. It's your boy Jamar Nicholas. Hello, guys. Who's here tonight? Let's do a roll call real quick. I see the Queen of Coffee Break, Suze, is here. I see Notorious JRD. I see, oh, what up, Erica? It's good to see you. I see LJ Dubs. Jamal Walton in the house. What's up, bro? Who else is here? Yo, I see Brad Tree. Thank you. Brad Tree, you know what happens next week, bruh. I'm sure you know because you guys are swimming in it. You guys are breathing this air right now. Guys, you know what happens this week coming up? It's almost time to have big fun in Baltimore. That's right. Baltimore Comic-Con is upon us, pause. And I cannot wait. I can't wait. Tastes great, even late. Can't wait. You'll see my face in the place, Baltimore Comic-Con, the Kids Love Comics Pavilion. Very excited. Thank you, Brad. Brad Tree, the voice of the Baltimore Comic-Con. That's right. Suze calls for it. First sip of the night. Can we get a sipper? Guys, get your elbows up. JRD says 2 sippers. Get 2 sippers up. All right, hold on. I'm messing up my stuff. You guys are trying to make me do a mouse drop. Hold on a second. Let's get a sip of coffee for your buddy and mine, Brad Tree. That's nice. Thank you. Sue says, so sad to miss it. Oh man, not gonna be here. Well, you know, we gotta do our John in a minute. Don't go anywhere. JRD says, I still call for 3 mouse droppings this week. And you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, so we have a small audience today. This is driving me crazy. I gotta move this. And we're gonna talk about my second chair. Come on. I don't think this is going to work. It's better. I have 2 chairs in my studio. My main chair is the one I'm sitting in. The secondary chair is from when I'm drawing at my table. And I have that big doohickey in it because the chair is not comfortable. So I got during the lockdown, I got one of those like lumbar Johns, and it sucks. That was like it's so, I don't want to say it was a waste of money because the ads made it sound like I was going to be sitting on a cloud. Um, that did not happen. But now I have this thing that I sit on, and it makes the chair just a little less uncomfortable. So maybe we'll start early, you guys. And oh, what I was going to say is, to JRD's point for mouse droppings, if you haven't been paying attention to what's going on every second in my life, I bought this mouse because my other mouse just was not working. And this is kind of like a gaming mouse, and it's got all this stuff on it. Look at all this show business on this. And it has these really horribly placed buttons right next to the thumb. And there's like a divot here for where your thumb rests. And I pressed this button by accident. I'm sure there's a way to disable it. I'm sure smarter people could figure that out. But if you see me disappear from the chat, I hit the button by mistake, and JRD is leading some sort of like drinking game. How many times I can nope out of the chat. Thank you, JRD. Watching you rearrange this chair was like watching Moumenchant's ballet. You're so cultured, JRD. Thank you. And it's kind of like, this is not to take it for granted, you guys, but like, this is my studio. This is real, and this is where I sit all day long. So it's very it took a lot for me to turn a camera on in here and let you into my world. I'm a very private person. I'm your private dancer, dancers for money. Rest in peace, Tina Turner. So, sometimes while I'm doing this thing, you can look at the background, it's like, oh, what's that pile of stuff? It's stuff in my studio because, I don't have time to like clean up and then turn the thing on, but I try to keep a decent working space. So I hope you give me some grace. So my other chair was out and I didn't put it back. So there you go. So thank you, JRD. JRD says, honestly, and this is not a dig, you're so busy, I'm surprised it's not messier. I've been trying to get better at this because, well, it's already dirty again. I'm always in this hustle to try to keep my desk clean because I don't know, however, my undiagnosed ADHD works, but I kind of create almost like a hovel for myself. Like there's stuff all on the side of my desk, and there's stuff all on this side of my desk, and I have a little clean area right here, and I feel very comfortable when I just have this little space. And then sometimes I just look and I go, ugh, and I push everything away from me. So I think there might be kind of like a spatial irregularity there, but I'm always trying to clean my desk off and just things just kind of like repopulate. So, and also a thing, and I hope you guys all know by this point that I'm not a braggart. People may think a lot of things of me, but I'm not vain. I'm not vain in the way you think I'm vain. But the one of the best parts about getting this space and from the space I upgraded it from was I said, you know what, I'm getting to a place in my career where, and this sounds, and maybe we could talk about this, I would get an email or a phone call from somebody that would say, hey, listen, we would love to bring a crew over here and interview you in your studio. And it's very easy to go, like to give yourself a panic attack. Oh my gosh, people want to come over here. You can't come here. And I wanted to get to a place in my career when I could go, okay, sure. How's Monday? And that's its own thing right there. So, and that doesn't happen a lot. Some of you guys know I got interviewed a couple of times at the beginning of the year on some news outlets. And What was great for me is that I didn't have to clean like crazy, but I had to clean. But I'm really just fortunate that I had the space to do something like that in. And like I said, I know all the time that not everybody's got space. You may have a corner of the kitchen table that you kind of unfurl your stuff and do your work and then put it all back away and move it. I've had all those things in my life. Um, so I think one of the biggest things about having a space is, and this is probably the first thing I really did was like I bought a really good chair. That was probably the biggest purchase. Like I bought this chair and I sit in this chair like 20, almost 20 hours a day. So I didn't want to skimp on a chair. That's about it, you know. So yeah. All of that to say about that other chair. I was looking for comfort and not comfort like, Calgon, take me away comfort, but like, yo, can I sit in this chair for 6 hours and work and not have my back hurt? Yeah, tell him, JRD. Back care is important. So, and maybe you guys, I mean, Sue's, come on, you guys are worker bees too. You know how it is. And that's not, like I said, I'm not bragging. Um, there's plenty of times that I've been at school visits where the kids go, tell us about how your day goes, and I usually say something like, wake up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, walk the dog, make breakfast. I get into my studio around 10, if that, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then fast forward, I go to bed at 2:30. What? I mean, that's not 20 hours, but it feels like it. And, when you stop and do stuff and you stop and like eat or you stop to take some phone calls or you stop and at least I try to like smell the roses. And I talked about that last night on Pencil to Pencil. Sometimes you need to touch grass, y'all. And, I just need to take a minute. But I don't like being in that space where doing all nighters and all that. I hate that. And I pay for it because I'm just a mess for days after that. Yo, what up, Bob? Good to see you. Bob, I just saw your schedule for Baltimore Comic Con. You're a busy man. JRD says you stop and eat if you remember to do so. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten to eat. And that's not like, oh, look at you, you're so busy. You forget to eat. It's literally, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been in spaces where you sat down to work and then you looked up and your kids are coming through the door from school. Or your spouse comes home and says, have you moved all day? Have you showered today? Like all those things. And it sounds really funny, but it's real. Hey, yo, Reed Punk Taco 2. What up, Adam? Good to see you. Bob is very busy. Yes, I concur. And Jared D says, you stop and eat if you remember to do. You know what? We've been talking about on Pencil to Pencil for weeks now about just what this air is that cartoonists breathe. And I'm sure it sounds romantic in some people's ideas of what this is. And some people might, want to chase that brass ring. Please follow your dreams. Go forward. 100,000 horsepower. Mighty Atom. I'm all about it. But a lot of the realities are, it's just that it's like it's super busy time, and you have to like jump off of the carousel once in a while just to kind of maintain your own sanity. And other people do that in other ways. Some people, I don't know. Some people have to just kind of like turn everything off and like stretch out on the floor. I'm not going to say I haven't laid on the floor over here a couple of times when it was just like that wild. You just got to reset yourself sometime. What am I talking about? Bob says, I will not be eating during the active hours of Baltimore Comic Con. No time for that. I ain't got time for that. Sue says, water is the thing for me. Team water. Team water. Sue is definitely on team water. Uh, I lost the thing. What did you say? Water is a thing for me. I'm going to bed and I have not had a drip of water. Oh, you got to drink more water. My new thing I've been doing for like the summer is once I get up, you have a bottle of water. And I think that some people say it should be like room temperature. I don't like ice cold water. Like I'm not like digging a ditch or something. I need a water. You could feel it's almost like you could feel like things like freshening up on your insides. And we also drink more water. I'm that person that'll say if you come and say, JN, I got this massive headache. How much water did you drink today? I'm that guy. I ask those questions. But yeah, water, more water. Um, and yeah, or you see the bros walking around with the gallon jug of water, which seems really nasty to me, but I get it. So I mean, it's just it is what it is. You just do it, and that's one thing. It's like a lot of times when people say, "Oh man, you're living a dream." What did Anonymous say? When you work from home, you're always at work. I feel like a lot of people learn that during a lockdown where say if you are not a creative yourself and you live with a creative and I'm sure you go to work every day going, huh, must be nice to still be in bed. I'm up here like on the subway, like fighting rats and stuff. It'd be nice to sit around in your boxer shorts and draw all day. And then you come home and they're in the same exact spot when you left. And then during the lockdown, people were like, yo, where did day go? Exactly. Exactly. The day just washes away fast. And if you're not regimented, you can lose daylight really quickly. So I wanted to think one of the benefits of the lockdown were that I think maybe there was a little more balance where people understood what happens when you spend your entire day home, you know. Right? I ain't never lie. We ain't never lie. So for the person that says, "Oh man, I got to work this 9 to 6," and you fight the world and you get home at 7, the creative has probably been working as long as you have, plus the commute time, and then kind of stop because now we're gonna have dinner. We watch Wheel or whatever. A couple hours later, they go back in there and draw some more, and then probably go to bed late. It feels like 20 hours. Yo, it may be September tomorrow, but it's always July when Julian Lytle's in the building. What up, July? Sip of coffee for my man July, guys. Put your sip of elbows up. Put your pinkies out for my man July. How are you, bro? Good to see you. It's I don't know if it's like a six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I wouldn't give it up for the world. I wouldn't trade it. I've worked really hard my whole life to get to this space. It's exciting. But I understand how it feels on both sides of that fence. So it's not sweet. It's not all sweet how people think it is. El Jamal, you want a coffee check? I just got started. All right. El Jamal's calling for a coffee check. Jamal Walton calls for a coffee check, and JN will answer. All right, you guys, you know how this works. When somebody in the chat calls for a coffee check, I will then put up a avatar on our screen that looks like that. You must now guess how much coffee I have left in this mug. I've been sipping pretty hardcore in here, and this is on pretty even fractions. So I have 75, 50, 25, and 0. So put in the chat how much coffee you think I have left in my cup right now, and I will wait. Well, somebody's always texting me during coffee break. You know I'm on air. Come on, y'all. So yeah, put it in. 50. Yo, what's the price? 50 twice. All right, Sue says 75. Okay, anybody else? Yo, George Gant. What up, George Gant? Read Beware of Toddler. You know what to do. 75. Bro, okay. All right, brother, I know. And you know, also, once I pour the coffee, like I take a couple of test sips on my way to the studio. So I don't think it's ever at 100. It's never at a honey. It's never at a hundo. Yo, we keep it a bean. You get it? Keep it a bean. All right. So that's it. 275 is a 50. That it? Anybody else? And then I may talk about the dentist. The dentist. All right. All right, guys, it's time to reverse Drake. You know what reverse Drake means? Reverse Drake means we started from the top. Now we're here. All right. Drum roll, please. Actually, I can't tell. 50. Yo, that's right. I drank half this mug already. So anybody who said 50, you get a Nod John prize. You know what they say about people with ADHD? Coffee kind of does the reverse. So I don't get like wired from coffee. It kind of calms me down. That's probably the only way I could be drinking coffee at 9 o'clock at night. Is that it's just like it cools me out. All right, so 50 goes to JRD. Good on you. July, JRD wants to know if you're going to Baltimore next weekend. I don't know if you put all this business on the street there, JRD. All right, you guys. So before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, JustDoCoffee.com. JustDoCoffee.com. We buy any car.com. Do you guys get those silly commercials where you are? So there's a sound component to one of the things Reggie sent me, and it's so loud. So it's made me nervous for playing it. So I'm gonna play it, but cover your ears, you guys. I told you. Don't say I didn't warn you. So July says, I'm going to try and go on Friday because SPX is also next weekend. I have a table there. Yo, I miss SPX. Shout out to all the warriors that are going to SPX. Warriors. To a lot of people who know my pedigree, my background, I started off at SPX. My first convention and I look forward to every year was SPX. It was the only show I did every year for a couple of years, probably till 2000, like 2000, 2001, something like that. And that's also when a time when there weren't 1,000 conventions. And I went to SPX, I think 98, 99, 2000, into the thousands. Then I started going to San Diego, and I wasn't really set up for San Diego. I did recon for a couple of years of San Diego because I knew even back then you need to be at San Diego. And I got my face out there. I did my networking. I went to Del Taco. You know, I did what I was supposed to do to get to where I am today. But SPX is a very special place in my heart. I would love to make it back. El Jamal, yeah, it might have been. What was that, like 98? Come on, bro. We go back a minute. It's crazy that, like, I've known some of you guys so long. I remember you had like babies and strollers, and now they have like full beards and stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, you know the home team. But yeah, so speaking of that, this week, September's going to be wild, y'all. There's so much stuff going on. Um, I'm going to be at. I got to do the banner again. Hold on a second. Hey guys, let's get the energy up. We had such a great coffee break last time. It's kind of like yawny in here. So I'll be at Baltimore Comic Con. I'll see you in Baltimore. You know how we do it, caffeines. We're gonna have big fun in Baltimore. Now, if you don't know what that's from, you don't watch enough Cosby Show. And before that, I'll see you at the Reuben Awards. Yep, that's right. I'll be at the Reuben Awards. I'll let you know what happens. I got a fly outfit already. Oh, man. And then just from there, it's wild. I'll be at Rose City Comic Con in Portland later in the month. I'm going to be at the Chappaqua Book Festival at Chappaqua, New York, later in the month. October's wild. You know, we got it going on. Yo, what up, Adam? Adam says, last year I went to SPX and the fans there looked at me and Punk Taco like we were a disease. I didn't mean to laugh at that. I didn't expect to read that. You kind of caught me off guard with that. Too colorful and happy. I sold like one book. Sorry to hear that. I don't know what it was, but the audience just wasn't feeling me. I had one mom tell me the book looked nice, but her 10-year-old likes dark stuff. This is- yeah, I mean, that's one of the first places you kind of find out. And I don't know if it's changed, but the landscape was different when I was going to SPX. And I've said a million times the comic industry I came into. Oh yeah, JRD. I didn't talk about October. I just said September. We'll wait till October for that. There was definitely a railroad track going through the comics industry. On one side was the mainstream guys, and then on the other side was the indie people. And then maybe there was like a junction box with animators who wanted to do comics. So there was a whole other side, and I don't really have much to say about that. But it's funny, like you remember El Jamal, like all the monkey suit dudes who were doing these animators who were doing anthology comics are like the who's who of people in the animation world today. Like a couple of guys are did the Venture Brothers, and then other guys did this, that, and the other. They're all over the road, all over the place, and they weren't really feeling you if you came in there with a superhero comic. Because even though small press was on the door, there was still some biases there. So, but also I didn't do dark emo stuff, but it is what it is. JRD says Connolly wants to the SPX Comic Con for Wes Anderson fans. July says there's like 3 tracks now because of the big book publishers and their JN lines. Sometimes the world shall not meet. Yeah. And there was a point, I think it was like in the early aughts, where we went through, like I didn't set up. I wasn't setting up at SPX, but I went through there. I think it was Manly and I. We rolled up. And it's just the whole vibe was different. Everybody was ornery. And I remember there was a quick moment where people were like trying to out indie each other. Like people remember those really tiny little screen printing kits you could buy that had a light bulb and you could like burn screens and like pull ink like at your table, and people were like making comic books at their table. It was like that kind of like maker space. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And but there was just like so much of that, and then everybody just seemed really like really, really angry all of a sudden. I was just like, oh, I don't know, if this is my crowd anymore. The vibe changed, but and that's around the time when these were back when the show was still at the Holiday Inn, and I hadn't been to a SPX since I went to that new hotel or wherever it is. It's at a convention space now, right? But you know what? Time marches on. Things change. I'm glad SPX is still rolling. I would love to visit. It's kind of wild that it's the same weekend as Baltimore, but there's only so many months on the calendar. So July, you have to tell us how it goes. Uh, Adam says, when I used to make black and white comics, people would tell me I only buy color comics. See, you can't win. When I started publishing in color, they said maybe if it was published by Image, there's always something. That's very true. There's always something. And this is a really good piece of advice, not necessarily for coffee break, but there was a part of my education in comics where I had to learn that just because the sign outside says comics doesn't mean that your people are there, right? Sometimes you have to find that audience in a whole different space. Sometimes you outgrow something, which is fine. Sometimes your whole algorithm changes and maybe you got to go somewhere else, and I think that's okay. There's been things that I've started to say no to that I used to say yes to, that they don't fit where I'm going anymore. And there's no ill will, there's no bad blood, there's none of that. It's just you move on, you find a new pasture where maybe your market is waiting for you or your audience is waiting for you. I don't want to get into too much SPX talk because it sounds like I'm talking down about the show. I'm not. Love SPX. Keep on trucking. JRD says it's still in a hotel. They refuse to upsize because it would lose its indie feel. So patrons sardine themselves and learn each other's religions for the feel. See, now we're griping. I'm not griping. July says the vibe is actually sweet, but it's still very much DIY and very progressive and diverse in terms of audience. Stuff that skews kind of mainstream, even for kids, is not for that audience. Yep. Very alt and some manga inspired. Very young crowd too. Feeling like grunge and college radio in the '90s. Yes. There's some other things like, and it didn't last. In Philly, they had the Locust Moon Festival. Locust Moon was this pretty kind of like alt comic book store on University of Penn's campus, and it was really cool. They kind of branched out. They did a Little Nemo anthology that was it was a giant book. Remember that was a thing when people were making super giant books. It was like so big you didn't know where to put it. Pause. um, and they did their thing for a while, and then they just kind of like just folded up. But there's places for everybody to be at. I really believe that. And if not, you make your own place. See, I never went to eight. I never went to eight. I think I went to Mocha once. What's the other one? Space, Mice. The CXC thing is happening in Columbus. There's a lot going on. What up, Eternity? July says it's a Marriott with a convention center. Not huge, but has space and comfort space for it, but not a small hotel floors of space. Gotcha. Yeah, the old Holiday Inn was like, and everybody stayed in the building. It was a lot. Um, yeah, speaking of Eternity, hello, Eternity Forever. Everybody seems to be having such a fantastic time on Pencil to Pencil these days. If you're not watching Pencil to Pencil, fix your face, correct your actions. Eternity was a big part of Pencil to Pencil last night. And yeah, I mean, I guess kind of wrapping up that whole convention thing is there might be a thing, and I've said this to a lot of young cartoonists over the years, and sometimes I kind of curb what I say because you don't need to hear everything all at once. Or maybe this isn't for you, or it doesn't apply to you, or you're not there yet. I really try to meter and measure what I say depending on who I'm saying it to and where I think they may be in their journey. But say you're a local talent. I don't know where you live. Local is where you live, right? And there's a show that happens in your town every June. And you're like, Birdman.gif, can't wait for the June show. Yo, June show's coming. Yo, it's May. You know what happens next month? June show. And you're all about June show. And you set up June show, you're in your garage putting up a table with the tablecloth and just like June show. And you do June show. And then you're like, oh man, June show was dope. I met these three people. I got tacos with these people. June show was hot. Can't wait for June show next year. What about the rest of the year? And that's fine. That thinking is fine at a certain point in your career. But if you're going to level up, if you're going to ratchet up, if you're going to step it up, you got to go to more things. And sometimes, and I said this, and this might sound controversial, sometimes you're going to have to travel to places because if you're like the Big Fish of June show, and then it's kind of like, well, there's nothing else between this and the next June show. You're kind of cutting off your own air supply. No air supply jokes. So does that mean you should try to get into New York Comic Con? Not exactly. Does that mean you should go to Angoulême in France? Not really. Does that mean you need to go to San Diego? Maybe, maybe not. But you have to start thinking. You have to kind of like, what do you call it? Broaden your horizons, widen your band. You know, think about, are there shows you can go to outside of your town, maybe in the next state, maybe the next state over there. And, that's such a really important part of all of this because that kind of small thinking, and I don't mean small like small, but it's kind of like if you're just thinking one thing to year, one thing like a ratio thing, one show a year. I'm just gonna wait for this show a year. There's a whole lot of space in between that you're not using. I hope that makes sense. And this is the thing, nobody's going to tell you this except Uncle Jamar. Nobody's going to tell you this stuff. You have to figure it out on your own. Or maybe there's a point after 5 years of June show where you're like, is there any July shows? Something to think about. All right, you guys. I saw the Queen of Coffee Break coming here. It's time to pay tribute. I don't know how many fingers to use. Guys, get your elbows ready. Please let's not talk about air supply. Suze, it's time to celebrate you. I gotta hold on. I'm not ready. Are we hipping or dipping? I think we're gonna dip tonight. I put my hand upon your hip, then I dip, you dip, we dip. Suze pose. That was a good one. Suze pose. Yeah, you guys love it. I know you love it. JRD says, also remember one show does not a pattern make. Do a show at least 2 or 3 times before bailing on it. That's really smart. I know a lot of people who there's so many things that can make a show not work for you. It could be you have the wrong stuff at the wrong time. You could have the right stuff at the wrong time. You could have a bad exhibition space, right? You could be facing the wrong side of the show next to the toilet. But I'm also somebody who believes in, and this is coming from somebody who's been doing this stuff for a long time, right? You guys can check the pedigree. I've been doing this stuff since '97 or something like that. And also, I think I believe strongly in the lemons lemonade thing. If you got a really bad spot at a show, it's not really the place to go complain to the organizer. They got enough stuff to worry about. Figure it out, right? It's almost like a challenge. Challenge. There's a challenge. How am I going to make this work? You could sit there and mope all weekend and then complain on the line about how bad the show is, which isn't a good look. All you gripers out there, you need to correct your actions. It's not a good way to keep your rep up. Being the guy that complains about stuff on the internet is not helping you. It really isn't. I wish some of y'all would cut that out. It just kind of it sours people to you. Smiles, everyone. You figure it out, or talk about people out off screen. Um, you make it work, and sometimes it's just out of your control. I've gone to plenty of shows where I didn't draw a dime, and I'm just like, ugh, this wasn't a good show. Then somebody else was like, really? Look at these bags of Karl Barks with the dollar bills on the side. Money I made at the show. Well, good for you, bro. Sometimes you strike out, sometimes you hit it. Um, but Jared D makes a good point. Give it another shot, and maybe if it doesn't work out the next time, you move on. Oh yeah, the Act Nicholas one. I love it. July says, currently I get pro badges for big shows for networking. Smaller shows, I'm currently more open about getting a table. I'm only invited to SPX. I feel that. Yeah, you gotta just kind of figure it out. El Jamal disagrees. Nah, if I only sell one comic at a show, I'm not returning. I've had 2 shows like that. You'll never see me there again. Noped out. Yo, Reggie. Yo, let's give a sip of coffee to our man Reggie Byers. Reggie Byers is the mastermind behind JustDoCoffee.com. You know the sponsor. Go support Reggie and his fantastic IP. Cop the shirt. Cop whatever he's got going on over there. And Reggie, you got to get back in the game, bro. We've been talking about that for a while, right? And and maybe this is another thing. Like, if we haven't learned anything from the pandemic, it's that there's other ways to have people see your work. Something to think about. Jared D says, we did book a show our first time and did okay. In the first 6 hours of 10, both 6 hour 10 both exits allowing for out. Wait, okay. In the first 6 hours of 10, both exits allowing for out of town access were closed due to a fatal police chase. Wow, well, that's who knew, right? Plus, it takes a while to learn a show. It took me 3 years to learn that Heroes was solidly an art commission show, and Baltimore was solidly a book toy show. That is very true. And that's why I always say you should do. Eternity, I gotta give you that one. Smiles, everyone, smiles. I am Mr. Ricardo Montaljon. That's hard to say. Ricardo Montaljon, your host. Welcome to Coffee Break Island. Boss, the plane. Yes, we're showing our age, Eternity. But yeah, I've said that a million times, and I even said it earlier in the chat. I went to San Diego Comic-Con. Nobody told me to go. Nobody said, hey, Jamar, you really should book a plane ticket and go to San Diego, California for 5 days. You had to figure it out yourself. And I went there on a recon mission. I wasn't like, oh man, yeah, this is great. Comics. I did a little of that. But I was there just trying to figure out how this worked and who the players are and how do I fit into this part. I think it just makes sense. It behooves you to do recon. If you're just like, oh, what's this thing? Okay, I'll just sign up for it. And you just kind of like, you know, you gotta play it smart, Smiles, everyone. That's so funny. Let's do an ID. I got a lot of coffee left, you guys. You're watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. You guys, JRD told you already. I've been doing Coffee Break with JN for 4 years, something like that. It's crazy. It's wild. And by now, you should understand that I have a particular set of skills. Some of them may be cartooning, drinking this coffee, and running this mouth. I think you may be familiar with that. And I think I don't know. I came up with the idea for doing this thing after really enjoying some people that were doing Facebook Lives before Facebook Live was a thing. Remember when all of a sudden everybody had the wherewithal to turn on your Facebook and go live, and people were like, I'm not doing that. Or people were doing like really dumb things with that. Or you see somebody walking through the mall with their face bouncing all over the place, or sitting in their car eating French fries, right? And I'm just like, yo, I could do like a TV show. And I kind of picked from other people that I was enjoying and know how they were kind of garnering an audience. And I thought this would be fantastic, right? And I always had this fear, hasn't happened yet, where there'd be so many people watching this thing, the chat would be like, I call it guitar heroing. It's just like blah, 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 blah. And it would be so out of control. I couldn't have this intimate setting with you. And how many things, like even during the pandemic, you guys were going to those versus chats and watching, or going to IG lives and watching 300 people throw hearts all over the place. That makes my eyes water. I can't do that stuff. This is like a lyricist lounge, like a intimate acoustic sound session with your favorite cartoonist in Philadelphia and Jamar Nicholas. I go by many names. Perhaps you've heard of some. Ricardo Montaljon, your host on Coffee Break Island. I don't know why I keep doing that. Johnny Carson, your favorite talk show host. That's wild stuff. John Cena, and your internet best friend. Well, hello. What happens here? I already told you. You get to watch me drink coffee around my mouth, and when I'm out of coffee, I'm gonna give a sipper to Trey. I think we've lost Trey to the winds. Video over. I may have time to do one more of these before we get out of here. I got a lot of coffee left. Thank you guys. I can't do this without you. Appreciate you. Hey, Chris. You know what? I thought about putting music on, but it's just like that's just maybe too distracting for me. Chris, I found out that you've been lurking on the Pencil to Pencil channel for a while. How long have you been watching this stuff? And I did not know that you watch Coffee Break. Is this your first coffee break? If not, let me know about it. Oh wait, what did Reggie say? Yeah, yeah, right. I'm not so smooth, Jan. This is Boney James. So Kitty G. It's not that kind of vibe. I'm not that dude. But yeah. So It's really wild to me that uh, we've been doing this. Chris says, "Oh wow, I need cartoonist connections." This is my first coffee break, though. Welcome to Coffee Break, where all your dreams come true. So, Chris, I'll give you a primer because this is new to you. So, it's pretty obvious on the Pencil to Pencil channel. We do Pencil to Pencil Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST. Most Thursdays at 9 p.m. I show up all by my lonesome, and I host group. You understand group, right? This is group therapy. Sometimes, especially during the lockdown, people were waiting to get to Thursday so we can come together and have these little sessions. So there's a couple of names for this grouping, groupies. You can feel free not to call yourself a groupie of Jamar Nicholas. That's fine. Or the caffeines. You know the caffeines. Tell them, Suze. Friends and regulars, not decaf, of Coffee Break with JN. That's right. There's no decaf up in this Humpty Dumpty, this Major Falcon, this Mickey Ficky. When I was in high school, I got in trouble because they called me a ringleader. Sounds like something more ominous nowadays. But I was a social butterfly. I pretty much got along with everybody. I have friends along all of the cliques, and that kind of carried on into my adult life. I like to talk. If for a lot of you guys who know me in real life, if we can get a coffee and I could fold my leg over another leg and have a really interesting conversation, I will do so. Sometimes I say a lot. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interview you. I'm just very curious. That's just who I am. And having this forum just kind of works to my personality. So there it is. Thank you. There are so few of us, I need to share notes. Well, welcome to the tribe. Sue says, friends and regulars, no decaf without a doctor's note. Notorious JRD. So, also, Chris, one other thing. To become a caffeine in good standing, you have to attend 3 coffee breaks in a row. On the third one, I will anoint you, I will knight you as an honorary Avenger. I was friends with the Dirty Gum Hustlers in high school. All of them. What was it in Ferris Bueller? Like the nerds, the dweebs, the neo maxi zoom dweebies, or whatever. They think he's a righteous dude. See, say the word. I love it. So also yo Marshall, what's going on? What's up, bro? Also to that effect, the archives are. Where are all these people coming from? Cam, hello, Cam. My first time too. I'll keep checking it out. Yes, thank you. Please become one of the JNN. You know the JNN, Jamar Nicholas Network. The Jamar Nicholas Network was running all the way back in the early aughts when on my old, remember some of you guys, El Jamal, you remember my old publishing, my small press publishing thing, Sweatshop Press. On sweatshoppress.com, I was running a forum, a message board with a who's who names on there that had message boards. I can't remember anymore who it was. I think Raminder was on there. Mike Norton was on there. We're doing it real big, yo. I've been the same guy since day one. Don't ever be surprised. I'm the same dude. So Cam, yes, thank you. Welcome to Coffee Break. Hang around, why don't you? JRD's fanboying Chris. I think Chris deserves immediate status, but that may be me fanboying. Love Chris's work since before the Franklin books. I agree. But Chris has to earn his stripes just like everyone else. This is JNN. Well, not in that case. So you guys know the pedigree at this point. And this is funny. We could talk about this, and I'm going to start wrapping this up. Um, there was I think it was Gallagher, my buddy John Gallagher, Read Max Meow, Cat Crusader. Is That's right, Chris. You were just like everyone else. Hey, Darcy, how are you? Good to see you. Um, Man, now I forgot I was going to say Darcy makes me nervous. Um, One of the cool parts about doing this stuff for so long is the community, right? And that's one of the coolest parts about this, running the JNN all this time. The Friends of Jamar fan club. I had T-shirts back in, what was it, '99? Some of y'all still got your Jamar Chronicles T-shirts. Is that, we've been in the same industry, and the friendships go a long way. It's always really magical to see people just kind of keep moving forward, keep leveling up. I think that's fantastic. You never really forget where you come from because you keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all the eyeballs here tonight. Very great to see you all. Anybody else is lurking in the chat, let me know. And and if anybody would like to pay tithing tonight, or give some good words of advice or encouragement to the group, let us know. All right, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping this up real quick. Just again to let you know, um, I will be at Baltimore Comic Con on Friday. We're gonna have big fun in Baltimore. Very excited about that. You know where it is, the Baltimore Convention Center, September 8th to 10th. Just so you know, I will be there. I will not be there Friday. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday only. It's even on the program. It's in my rider, Saturday and Sunday only. You could catch me at the Kids Love Comics Pavilion, where there'll be great, fun, family friendly creators and intellectual properties that you can check out. There's also going to be a cool thing that we're working on. I can't tell you too much about it. That's going to be a good time. We always have fun in Baltimore. Then there will also be kids programming. I will do my world famous Imagination Aquarium workshop. I'm the closer, you guys. I shut down the show on Sunday with 3 p.m. Imagination Aquarium with Jamar Nicholas. Also on Saturday, we're going to do a live. It Ain't Hard to Tell with my buddy and yours, Mike Hawthorne. You know Mike Hawthorne, Batman artist Mike Hawthorne. You know who he is. If you've been sitting on your hands, fix your face, correct your actions. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Also coming up I think I put a thing in there already. Also at the end of the month, Rose City, y'all. Going to Portland. I can't wait. I've never been to Portland. I hope to have a fantastic time there. Y'all gonna see my face up in the place. I'm a special guest, y'all. I love it. All right. Chris is giving us some advice. Yes. Chris says, my advice, keep drawing every day. Yep. Learn every aspect and you'll get discovered. It took me 25 years before I got it to work, but you can do it. You can do it. I need to put a hashtag on here. Hashtag overnight success. I think we have our overnight success Green Masters jackets. That is very true. I've been at this for about 25 years. And, the last year or so, people are going, is this your first book? And I have to fight every inch of my soul to just like not say something weird. I'm just like, no, it's been doing a thing. So, Chris makes a lot of good sense. So you got to keep it going, y'all. Keep it moving. Activities, I love it. I can't wait. Much like Cleveland, Portland rocks. Yo, Bill, what up, bro? Good to see you. You're never late, my man. Good to see you, my man. Suze is calling for us to get out of here. I got a little bit of sipper left. Oh, also, like I said, I also will be at the Reuben Awards The National Cartoon Society 77th Annual Ribbon Awards, where you'll see cartoonists, you'll see cartoon characters scaling buildings in Jersey City. That's very ominous, but I can't wait. It's my first Rubens. Some of you guys didn't know I'm very active in the National Cartoonist Society. If you're a cartoonist in good standing, consider joining the National Cartoonist Society. We just had a fantastic open house the other day where I'm doing an interview series. I had a sit down interview with Bill Plimpton. You know Bill Plimpton is master animator. It's wild, and Bill's a really good dude, and it was really fun. So yes, I don't know if that's true, Jerry Craft. I haven't done this in a long time. This is a great way to take us out of here. Yo, you know my man Jerry Craft. Jerry Craft and I are thick as thieves. Talk about overnight successes. Why don't you? How many times have I put up a picture of Jerry Craft and I on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, you know me and Jerry go way back, like back. You know my man Jerry Craft, Newbery Medal award winning Jerry Craft, Coretta Scott King award winning Jerry Craft, banned books Jerry Craft, first base Jerry Craft, second base Jerry Craft, shortstop Jerry Craft. Yes, that Jerry Craft. And also, Jerry, tell him again. I posted this somewhere. New Kid is on, what is it, the top 50 children's books of all time list? Come on, bro. Give Jerry his flowers. Ugh. Come on. I love it. Yeah, Jerry and Kwame Alexander are always up to something. All right, you guys, let's do it. Let's get out of here. Guys, this was fun. Enjoyed kicking it with you guys. I get back to work. You too can be an overnight success. Just don't ever quit. Even when resistance is at your right in your face, get around it. Yes, tell him George Gant. Read Beware of Toddler. All right, guys. Sue said time to say your goodbyes, y'all. Say good night, John boy. Let's get those good nights in. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and watching me drink coffee. What a weird concept. Oh, shout out to Big Joe. Gave me this great mug. Banging whoopie pies from Maine. My favorite, well, one of my favorite states because I do enjoy a lobster roll. There you go. ABC, always be creating. Thanks, Chris. Good to see you. All right, you guys, let's do it. Yo, Shan, what's up? Kappa, stand up. Yo, you know my man Shannon Newby, Snooby Comics out there. Shannon, you got some new books coming out. I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Good night. Y'all got to stop lurking, y'all. You got to tell me up front. You were watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. You know the name by now? I go by many names. Some of my favorite Philadelphia-based names are Kevin Scrapple, because bacon was taken. Johnny Five. Johnny Five, how do you feel? I feel alive. PM John. Paper John. And my favorite, the captain of the starship, Jean-Luc Picard. Engage, make it so. There are 4 Johns. What happened here tonight? You got to hang out with your boy JN and watch me. I'm also a cartoonist, don't ever forget it. You watch me drink coffee and run my mouth. And now that I'm out of coffee, somebody wake up Hicks. See you next time, y'all. Be safe.